You already know this is about to be stupid.
How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, this a new range, new page. Got me in a new country, new stage. I ain't signed no deal, I'm too paid. I do not have chill, I'm too crazy. I do not take L's, I'm too Brady. I might be frosted, I'm not flaky. Don't know what it cost me, it's all gravy. Turn on that faucet and just pay me. Whoa, we gon' get it, bring it back. Maybe Donald is a Mac. Couple bottles, empty glass. New machine, I'm sending facts. Bump the headline, check the facts. I'm not a gangster, but I'm a gorilla. Hop on them drums when I'm feeling J Dilla. Come get your lady, cause I'm a just stealer.
How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa.
How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, there's no comparison. Black in America, little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't mention it, that's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send him my sentiments. Neck full of sediments, caught me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Dropped an investment in Silicon Valley. All of this cake, but I'm missing the patty. Might mess around and just move to Miami. Drums are so loud that they break in the chassis. King of the grass like a Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors that labels as testing.
How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa.
How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me.
How about the range? Whoa. Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa.
This is that one song that you heard so many times, and every time you hear it, you're like, I'm not gonna bump to this song. But then you start catching a vibe. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
East Coast with the gang, West Coast with the gang, Lower with the gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang, West Coast with the gang, Lower with the gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang, West Coast with the gang, Lower with the gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang, West Coast with the gang, Lower with the gang, you know. Yeah, whoa, East Coast with that gang. You know we don't play games, whoa. Hop up on on that wagon. Oh, please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry, we just stuck up in our ways. West Coast, go ahead, stand up. Put that glass and hands up. Gang, we famed up. Got that change, we bagged up. Crew love, we stay manned up. Ahem, like I'm wheezy, yeah. Rap game just too easy, Drip so sick, I'm queasy, whoa.
East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang.
Yeah. Watch me finesse, walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Our time to shine, wifey is fine. I'm doing fine, glad that you asked. God fill me up, mud in my glass. God clean me up, all that I ask. Wherever you headed there fast. I am ahead, you are in last. Last time I checked, you are all gas. Gas in the whip it up fast. Fast and all furious, I'm starting to spaz. Getting all curious, you put me on blast. Blasting that Darius, kids in the back. Back to the future is black. Black like T'Challa, Wakanda attack.
East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang. West Coast with the gang. Local with the gang. You know we don't play gang.
Stay me, they try to take my life from me. The king will come collect his fee. I do the most, y'all do the least. We don't eat scraps, we don't. Can't be feasting all these niggas. I stay beasting all these niggas. I'm releasing all these niggas. I can't be peaceful with these niggas. I'm like a diesel when I fucking gas up. Running my route, better pass up. Running from God with a pastor. Chewing on the game like a pasture. I ain't never looking for a handout. You can put your motherfucking hands down. It's like a goddamn drum line, but it's like smart man, my son. KD erupted Vesuvius. These demons, they on the loose. Hey, y'all wanna win, put booby and always remember to tie in my boots. Hey, I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't know you don't know me. Still got my soul, still make this break. These niggas change, but I stay me. I'm tired of watching these puppets and calling them artists. I'm falling too far. I just took what I had and I did what I could. Now I'm taking the love and creating, replacing the charts. I'm tired of stopping these people from fucking me over. I'm putting up walls and protecting my mind and protecting my time. Now I'm taking the money, creating sustainable art. Y'all on the same train. Y'all ride the same way. Same shit, new name. Same shit, new day. Dumb niggas too paid. Capping like a toupee. Gotta ride a new wave. Gotta find a new way. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't know you. You don't know me. Still got my soul. Still make this breathe. These niggas change, but I stay me. They try to take my life from me. The king will come collect his fee. I do the most, y'all do the least. We don't eat scraps, we only feast.
enormous.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing. Testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 3293 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in that realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and yahos? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. In today's episode, the Bees Cast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing on all you beaches.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
It's the fucking Catalina
Hashtag SwoleFam for a chance to win today's Swole card. We got some new releases today. We are going to jump right into some SwoleFam questions that I prompted yesterday. So without further ado, let's get on into that tip. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. If you got the Swole text and you want to respond, you could drop your questions. We're just taking questions today. So actually, we're going to move right into the balls deep portion, or actually the knowledge cock, and then we're going to get into those new releases. So abbreviated show today, jumping right into the questions. Drop your questions in the comments down below. Hashtag AskPapaSwolio. We combined the accountability post or the accountability text with just a private member Q&A. Answered a couple of them yesterday. So the first one today we're going to get into is Joshua. And Joshua asks, Papa Swolio, I know that you have to take it easy while you are sick, but what is the best way to come back to a normal after being sick/injured for an extended period of time? Feel like trash in the gym right now after being on the sidelines with norovirus, flu B, and pneumonia all in a row. Jesus Christ. Josh, you got to get your health in order, man. Get your vitamin D. There's something wrong with your immune system. Got to make sure that you are fortifying yourself. You take your time. If you get sick like that, it's going to take you a while to get your strength back. Just be patient and eat healthy, get quality sleep, hydrate, electrolytes, all those things, man. That's it. That's the best way to come back, is to take care of your health. And the best way to come back is to not get like 5 things in a row all at once. I'm not sure how you get all those things, but, a lot of times people have other things that are compromising their immune system, whether it's lack of sleep, whether it's mRNA boosters or vaccines and things like that, that can compromise your immune system. Flu shots and things like that often lead to actually getting sick. But of course, if you're around a lot of people that are sick and if your immune system is compromised, see, all these things are around us all the time. So it really comes down to whether or not your body is prepared or healthy to fend it off. So you have bacteria and viruses all over the place all the time, and you're always exposed to these things. So when your immune system gets compromised, then all of a sudden you get sick. So when you have your immune system maybe temporarily suppressed because of lack of sleep or stress or things like that. So monitor your stress, meditation, Josh, bone broth. You're just going to come back slow. When I got the flu in college because eating like crap, training hard. I won't say eating like crap, but, college food. We had pretty good food, but, comparatively to what I do now, not getting quality sleep. I'm in Pennsylvania, so there's no sunlight in the winter, and everyone was getting sick. And it took me a few weeks. I felt good, and then I just couldn't push anything in the gym. I remember I came down to visit my grandparents in Florida. I went to the gym, got like a couple weeks membership for winter break, and I couldn't push 135 on the bench. I was just like, it felt so, I was pushing hard, but my arms were barely moving. It's kind of like when you first wake up in the morning and you can't tighten your fist. It just feels like, you're gimped. It felt like that. So it takes a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just popped back. So take care of your health. Like I said, bone broth, electrolytes, sleep, all those things, meditation, yoga, do some yin yoga, do some things that are really low intensity, low stress, and just work your way back. It'll come back. It will come back. But that's a lot. Kelly, if you have more questions, drop in the comments down below and we'll get to them. Actually, I'm going to load up, TikTok so we can get some more questions. So you could drop your questions in the comments if you were unable to ask me. So we did a private member Q&A, sent out a Swole text, and had a lot of great responses. So Kelly says, how do you see food as just fuel? I mean, it just is. Food is fuel. Your whole body is made up of only what you eat and what you expose yourself to. So if you're not getting sun, your largest organ is your skin. So make sure you get all sun all over your body. Food is fuel. I don't really understand the question, to be honest, because that's what it is. Now, a lot of people use food as a whole social, cultural thing. And I think that's great to have a meal with your family and friends. You sit down, you have a meal, but the grift of it is the excuse to eat garbage. And to every social event, it has to be revolving around garbage food. So it's not the food that's the problem. It's the social retardation and people that don't understand what real food actually is. So there's nothing wrong with eating with other people. That's totally fine. You should be eating with your family. If you have a family, you should be eating with them. And it can be a great social gathering event, but people are eating crap. So food is literally just fuel. It is fuel. Some people look at it as an art form and they love to cook and all that stuff. Fine, use real ingredients. It's no excuse to eat garbage. So it's really just knowledge and intelligence and then application and actually having purpose and caring what you put in your body. So if you are living in the 1500s and you only get to eat what you hunt, you don't have the luxury of, orange juice or, all the fancy things that we have access to now. But you're also not eating ultra processed stuff. You're going out and you're hunting a deer or you're hunting squirrels or something like that. So food is literally fuel and it makes up your entire body. So it's not, how do I see food as fuel? I return the question, how do people not see food as fuel? Because literally that's all it is. People use it as an addiction, as a cope, as blah, blah, blah. We know that. Melissa, hi, Papa. After all these years of practicing the 7 pillars, do you ever feel the need to do an elimination diet? If so, what results have you found? Thanks so much, Melissa. Well, I'm always doing an elimination diet. Once you do the elimination diet, you're never off of it. You're just refining it. So when you do the initial elimination, like you're cutting out a lot of garbage foods, but then you're eating real nutritious foods. So you keep on eating those foods. And then you find other foods that are nutritious or you try different things. And then you see what works. So I'm not doing an elimination diet again. I know what foods work well for me and I keep on eating those. And then maybe I'll try different things like sourdough bread or, when I started drinking kefir, I was like, oh, this is great. I like this, or other things maybe don't go the same direction. But once you're on an elimination diet, you're always on it. You're just refining. It's your own custom nutrition. Well, flagged for hate speech because I said the R word. That's retarded. Maybe that one got under the radar. I said it quiet. Micah says, what are the best yoga poses / movements to deal with lower back spasms and strengthen the lower back core posterior chain? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To deal with lower back spasms, I mean, that's probably not going to get to the cause of what's causing the spasms. Best yoga poses, a lot of them. Go into the yoga studio and do the hips, twist. You don't want to just do a pose. You want to do the whole sequence, because sequences of yoga activate the muscles and you're externally rotating as you're turning, as you're going warrior 1, warrior 2. So do any vinyasa or level 1 classes or yin yoga and do ones that are spine, hips, twists, back. Just do the search and do those classes. Very simple answers for these. Pam, don't have an ask, just a thank you. I always learn and take away so much from all the podcasts. Keep on working on my 7 pillars. Good for you. Good for you. Well, thank you for responding all the same. Thank you for responding all the same. All right. Do we have any more from the fam? We did a couple yesterday. We have one more, and some still might come through. So we might do some more tomorrow. Let's see, Riley, why are there internet trends of people rubbing banana peels on their faces? I'm not aware of this. Or maybe I am. I don't really scroll as much as I used to, which is good. Are there actual health benefits or are people truly just stupid? Oh, definitely the latter. People are definitely stupid. I don't know any benefit of rubbing a banana peel on your face. But if you want to rub a banana peel on your face, I'm sure it's not bad for you. Interesting thing to do. Does anyone else know? I have no desire to rub a banana peel on my face. Alex, spoken like a true double doctorate in logic and common sense. Well, I did study for a long time in logic and common sense. I've been studying logic and common sense for almost 42 years. There are some good things to do for hair. You know, you can put egg yolks and you can put olive oil, and there's different things you can do with, you know, whole foods in terms of scalp treatments and hair and food related shampoos and things like that. But I've never done it. I have no desire to put a banana peel on my face. A lot of times people do that kind of stuff because it gets engagement. You see a lot of people that don't know about something, even if it's not useful or it might be slightly beneficial or it helps one person or whatever. People do all sorts of things in videos that catch on just because it, oh my God, what are you wiping on your face? The same reason why I spit in videos and people, you know, it catches attention and it gets engagement and then people comment and then it gets more reach in the algorithm. So people do a lot of gimmicks in videos in order to get engagement and to get reach. Bananas are good though. I like bananas. I like bananas. Ted on TikTok, where on God's green earth do I get the shirt? Oh, the Swole Gumby. Yeah, today I'm rocking the Swole Gumby. So we still have buy one, get one 50% off over on papasolio.com. So click the link in my bio and go check it out. Buy one, get one 50% off. I love bananas, but I'm not going to put it on my face. So we're taking more questions. Let's just hang around in the question portion today. Let's see. We do have some new releases that we're going to talk about. And let's see what else we got going on. We got some new drops inside the Swolenormous app. We'll have new recipes. We got new yoga. And we do have new merch today. So that's good news. And aside from that, we're just going to take questions today. So drop in the comments if you have questions. We see a lot of people in the Swole fam. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Swole Monkey. Glad to have you back. Let me see here. What else we got? Loretta says, I worked the election. If I hear one more voter say Trump or 51st state, they bought the liberal bullshit. Elbows up my ass. Hogwild says, Loretta, what the fuck? I leave for 3 months and everyone votes liberal. I thought we settled this shit. Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Katie on TikTok, what's the best thing for me to do as the oldest kid and my parents are going through a divorce? I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I would say go to the freaking gym, develop yourself as a person, educate yourself, become independent, you know, in your own right, learn skills, develop yourself as an individual, go to the gym, take care of your health, and that way you can have your head screwed on straight for your siblings. I don't know how old you are or how old your younger siblings are, but it's tough when you're the oldest sibling because you might understand what's happening, but if they're your brothers and sisters are younger, they might not understand. So hopefully it's done amicably. Divorce is no good, but in some situations it might be necessary or actually a good thing. But that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Dallin, thanks for your Instagram videos, Papa. The wife was scrolling and watching a random video, and then near the end, bam, Papa arrives telling her to go to the fucking gym. Mission accomplished. Let's go.
Hi, puppy.
Caught her scrolling, huh? Caught her scrolling. I've been doing that, especially on Instagram. I'm catching people scrolling, catching you slacking, catch you doom scrolling. I'm going to pop out, set you straight. I'm setting you straight. All right. Banana peels are good for the skin because of the same reason you eat the inside: vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals. Just Google it. I mean, if you're using something like, obviously we're launching the Papa Swolio's Bull Cream, Scalp Seed, and Mane Gains hair and skin products. So if you're putting quality products on your face, you don't need to put a banana peel. You know, if you're getting amazing nutrients from grass-fed and finished beef tallow and X, Y, and Z and all the things that we have in our products, for example, I don't need to wipe a banana peel on my face. But maybe it's a good way to get the most out of a banana. You eat the banana, it's like, hey, I'm going to throw out the peel. Maybe I'll rub it on my face. Some people use those things for compost and X, Y, and Z. So you guys remember banana peel bacon? Remember banana peel bacon? That's gross.
Matt Damon.
That's gross. If you want to vomit, go Google banana peel bacon. We did that, was it a couple years ago? Some insane vegans were grilling up banana peels and pretending that they're bacon. It's like, just eat the real thing. These people are, if you need to make vegan cheese and vegan meat and vegan bacon, you're just starving. You're mentally deranged and your body is so starved for nutrition, you just can't overcome yourself. I don't take meat and pretend like it's a vegetable. I take steak and make it look like a broccoli. Doesn't make sense. If you need your banana peels to try to taste like bacon, just eat a piece of bacon. Eat some bacon. All right? Get quality bacon. Eat meat. You don't want to make this fake ass bean burger. It's not a burger. It's just ultra processed, glyphosate packed vegetables. Just eat normal bacon. You're starving. Well, that's why a lot of vegans are so adamant and militant. It's because they're hungry. Think about it. When you're really hungry, you get cranky and you say a lot of insane things. So I don't blame them. They're just hungry. Vegans are just hangry. They're just really, really, really hungry people because they're not eating real food. To get swole, you have to eat heaps of meat. If you want to be swole and healthy, you should eat meat. Heaps of meat? I guess how much meat you eat it depends. It depends. People make bacon out of carrots too. No, that's just evil. That's the worst. That's the worst. Carrot bacon might be worse than banana. Well, at least, what do you think is worse? You're not supposed to eat the banana peel. That's why it's called the peel. You take it off and eat the banana. Even gorillas don't eat the peel. So at least carrots are edible. And I hate carrots. If you know me, I hate carrots. Not a fan. DPJ, Papa, what would you recommend to lose belly fat with a bad back? Quality nutrition, proper sleep, heavy lifting, and working on improving your back. Your back is probably, quote, bad. You don't have a bad back. You have a poorly trained back. You know, your back is not strong. So you have an injury based on imbalances or issues that you've had in the past. But proper yoga and mobility training will strengthen your hips, strengthen your back. You know, you got to train everything. Proper mobility, proper strength training, proper nutrition. There's a lot of inflammation and issues that can be caused with poor nutrition. So that's what I would recommend. That's what I would recommend. Hey, Pop, I started a diet and a workout plan 3 years ago because of you. Thank you for the help. Well, you're very welcome. What do I think? 17 years old, thinking about test? I can't say the R word on TikTok. I'll get banned again, but that's tarded. You're too young for that stuff. I don't take anything and I'm almost 42. So I would not dabble. I can't even imagine taking that stuff at 17. You haven't even made those newbie gains. You got testosterone pumping through your system. And if you have low test, that means your diet sucks, your sleep sucks. So get your nutrition in order. Get your nutrition in order. Start lifting heavy. You don't need to dabble with any of that stuff for a long time. You just don't. Dustin the Bear, what Papa just said is gold. Quote, bad back here's 3 slip discs and I lift daily. Yeah, so again, it's vague. When someone says they have a bad back or a bad shoulder, what does that mean? I don't like the phrasing because you're And I'm just putting this out there. I'm not saying that you're a victim X, Y, and Z, but just the framing of saying, oh, I have a bad back. That's like saying I have ADHD or I have I'm neurodivergent. I'm this, that, and the other. You're just putting this little victim shield over yourself and making an excuse for not doing what you should be doing. Why is your back bad? I have a bad knee. What's bad about it? You have a knee. You have a weak knee. You have a knee that doesn't have strong muscles and ligaments and tendons around it. You have a weak shoulder. It might be currently inflamed. You might currently have a tear or an injury, but that's because maybe you got into a physical accident or you had an imbalance and you injured something because you weren't training properly, you weren't recovering, there's too much fatigue, there wasn't a balance around the joints, et cetera, et cetera. So I've been training for 25 years and I've had knee pain and elbow pain. I've had tendonitis. If you're lifting heavy and you're pushing yourself, at some point, if you're pushing yourself to your limit, at some point, something's going to break. Hopefully not, but it's likely at some point, not break like snap, but when you're pushing yourself hard, when you're training towards failure, when you're loading yourself, when you're trying different splits and different exercise and you're experimenting, you don't know what your limit is. And unfortunately, a lot of people find their limit when they get hurt. But then guess what? Oh, I'm not going to do that next time. I didn't warm up enough. I didn't prepare enough. I shouldn't have put on a 25. I should just put on a 5-pounder. I wouldn't have hurt myself. So then you learn. So it's not a bad shoulder. It's usually bad choices that led up to that. So I don't like the labeling of, I have a bad back, because then your back is never good. It's always a bad back. It's always a weak point. So it's a great quote from Arnold. When he said, I like to make my weak points my strong points. If I have weak biceps, I'm going to train my biceps. If I have weak calves, I'm going to train my calves. So you want to make those weak points your strong points. So if you have an area that's weak, don't think of it as a bad back. Think of it as a weak back and then address that and then make it strong. Things like Jefferson curls and yoga. You can't just go into heavy lifting for your back, but doing hyperextensions, doing hip hinge, doing Jefferson curls, practicing yoga, strengthening and mobilizing your calves, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your spine, everything. And then it'll be a strong back. So don't think of it as bad. Just think of it as weak. And guess what you could do with something that's weak? You can make it stronger. So make it stronger. That's a good point. DG says, did you all take your daily 2 scoops of shut the fuck up and go to the fucking gym? That's great advice. That's great advice.
The attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
And let's be honest, some of you need to take 3 scoops. For some of you, 2 scoops ain't enough. You got to take 3. Hogwild says, it took me 5 years to figure out the only way to cure tennis elbow is to lift through it. Yeah, I get your point. That's lateral epicondylitis. You don't want to lift through it, but you can address that. So in other words, if you know what the issue is, you can address it. So if you have tennis elbow, you can work the eccentric you can get one of those TheraBars. You can work the eccentric for your extensors and that'll solve the problem. I think Cerny, a bunch of you have gotten the TheraBar. I have in the Amazon store. TheraBar is great for lateral epicondylitis. Remy, thoughts on TRT if you actually have low T, know of any other methods? How old are you? If you have low testosterone, increase your better sleep, lower your stress. So more meditation, quality sleep also matters. Heavy lifting, quality foods, high protein like meat, getting sunlight, eggs. You need a lot of quality foods, magnesium, vitamin D, all these things are great. A lot of people have very fundamental nutritional deficiencies because they think they're getting it from their food, but a lot of food is devoid of nutrition. So there are certain things that you should be supplementing with that are hard to get from food. So magnesium glycinate is awesome. Vitamin D, if you don't live in one of the middle latitudes. So I'm in Florida, so I don't take vitamin D really. There's no really need for me to take. I can take vitamin D now, but I get a lot of sun, full body sun, so I don't really need to in the summer. But more in the winter time when the angle of the sun's a little bit less direct, vitamin D is very important in the fall, winter, and the spring, especially for a lot of you people if you're not in the Caribbean area. SC Fishtails. I have ADHD and I never back down. Afghanistan didn't care, right? So it really comes down to whether or not people use these kinds of labels and things as, again, like a victim shield. And You just got to be very careful labeling yourself. Because if you label yourself with something, oh, I suffer from depression. Oh, I have a bad knee. I have a bad back. It's you're putting yourself under the thumb of something that's this abstract idea that keeps you suppressed. So you're holding yourself back. It's a mental and a physical thing. So if you change the framing, then you can get to work. So if your back is bad, guess what? I have a bad back. My back sucks. My back sucks. I'm a lemon. It was bad out of the factory. Now, some people have genetic defects and they have to deal with that. But if you have a bad back, when's it going to be a good back? If you say I have a weak back, now it's time to go strengthen it. Then it's not going to be bad anymore. Is that why I'm depressed? Well, a lot of people are depressed because they say they are. And if you suffer from depression, then you're always going to. You're just someone, you have depression, then you can never undo it. Usually it's people don't get enough sun, they don't sleep, they don't eat quality food, they doom scroll on social media all the time, and the people they spend time with suck. Of course, you'd be depressed. So usually it's just your habits and you feel like shit. You're not depressed, you're just snowballing poor habits. So if you compound your bad habits over time, yeah, you're going to constantly feel like shit. If you're eating garbage, not getting sleep, tons of blue light, you're spending time with annoying and worthless people, you're just scrolling online, comparing yourself to everyone else, you're not developing yourself as a human. Think of all these things, you're going to feel like crap. It's not rocket science. You're going to feel like crap. If you have crappy habits, you're going to feel like crap. And I'm not saying that some people don't have serious issues. And once you have some of these serious issues, it's not snap your fingers, they're gone. But there are definitely, it's all the correlations with your habits. So live like shit, feel like shit. It just seems to make sense, right? And there's nothing wrong with looking at something, but read books. Read a book. You don't have to scroll on your phone. Read a book. You're educating yourself. You're taking things in. And when you're reading a book, you're not reactive because a book doesn't have an algorithm. You're in control of the book. You can flip to any single page. You can pick it up, put it down when you want. You're reading, you're hearing the voice inside your head. You're going to this other place and you're gathering information. When you're on the phone, it's just showing you things and you're at the victim. Unless you're looking something up specifically, you can definitely use your phone and stuff as a tool. But if you're just allowing it to suck you in, it's directing you. And it's going to show you things that keep you on the phone longer, whether it angers you, whether it just catches your attention and it's just stupid entertainment videos. It sucks you in. Colin, Papa, should I get a gym buddy? How many of you have lifting partners or a gym buddy? Now, I'm not a fan. And I'm not saying that you can't train with someone. Maybe you do have a great gym partner. So again, I'm not saying you can't have a gym partner. A lot of people go to the gym with someone else. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not talking negatively about that. But I encourage all of you to make sure that you're able to lift on your own, because depending on going to the gym, if someone else's schedule allows it, you are outsourcing your control. So you want to avoid the trap of someone, you're going to meet someone at the gym at 3:00 and he's like, oh, I'm stuck at work. Let's go. Can you go tomorrow morning? And you're like, okay. And then you postpone your gym to tomorrow morning because your lifting partner can't be there. Like, that's not good. You can lift tomorrow morning as well, but you're like, okay, we'll lift tomorrow. Let's do this instead, because I'm going to go and do, back and buys, or I'm going to go do legs anyway. So you can facilitate your training, and maybe it can help you because you have a spotter, you have some good conversation between sets, you enjoy the person, you're friends with them, but just don't subject yourself to their needs over your own. And I really do think that people should learn how to train on their own. And then in the future, if you want to train with someone, that's fine. But training with a training partner should be something, no matter what it is, it should be something that propels you and helps you do better in the gym, not holds you back. So if someone wants to train with you, but they're always rescheduling, they're late, you don't get better workouts with them, ditch it. Ditch it. Mark says, I do. We lift once a week together because of my schedule, but Jesus, he barely does anything and makes excuses for why he can't do certain exercises. So yeah, like again, you can't depend on someone like that. Now, if you're at a higher level and you're competing, you're a bodybuilder, and maybe you have a coach or you have another person who's also competing and you're both focused, it can be great. If you have a quality lifting partner and they don't have to necessarily lift the same weight as you, they just have to have the same intensity, the same drive, but it can be a pain in the ass if you're changing plates all the time. But I remember back when I was training, like this is early days, there was a trainer who was younger who just kind of started and he couldn't lift anywhere near as much as me, but he had great energy and we stripped off the weights and he was like really pushing hard and it was fucking great. So he had the same kind of like intensity, just a different, amount of weight. So that was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but not really. So it was still helping me and it was still pushing me harder and I was pushing him and he was pushing me. So it worked out. So it's not really about how much weight the person lifts. It's about the mindset and the seriousness of the training. So bottom line, you just have to make sure that the person that you're selecting or the person, and the same thing goes in your personal life. But if you're going to the gym, you're going to work. You're not going to hang out. So if there's someone that's not that pushing you forward, if it's holding you back, then out. Bro is dropping Kendrick level bars. Goddamn right. Let's fucking go.
You switch the samples.
Papa's spitting today. Spitting. Mark says, I still go with him at our usual time, but I always tune him out. So basically I train by myself. Let's see. Hit the like button if you're watching on Rumble or YouTube. So if you're watching on TikTok, we will be shifting over only to the Rumble and YouTube. This is a podcast, so you can catch every single episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. The Daily Swole, it's available everywhere. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. We had a couple great Swolosophy episodes over the weekend, answered a couple questions yesterday on Sunday's episode. I really highly recommend you guys go listen to 3291. It was it removing redundancy? It's about 30 minutes and it's a really good listen if you want to learn more about the nuances of frequency, intensity, volume, and exercise selection, if I remember correctly. I know Cerny commented on Spotify. I saw that. Thank you, Cerny. So if you didn't check it out, go and give it a listen. John says, I've had several gym partners throughout the years. They all came and went. I train alone, happy to spot others, but nah, I'm solid. Yeah, I remember the one or two people that I trained with regularly. There was one guy that I'm not sure where he is today. I have to maybe look him up on Facebook. So we were friends in college and we trained hard, and man, we had some epic fucking workouts. We had some epic workouts. And he was kind of like what was he? He wasn't like an emo kid. He was kind of had like the punk rock style back in like, the early 2000s. And, yeah, but really cool dude. And man, trained really hard. There's a couple workouts that I remember. I have to reach out. I have to find them and reminisce, because there's a couple workouts that I remember vividly in my life. There's a few workouts. Actually, there's one, two. Again, there's a few people through my life that I remember that we just did insane stuff in a good way. I wouldn't train that way today, but bottom line, your training partner should be something that gets you to that next level that you couldn't get on your own. And if not, then you don't need the person. It's not benefiting you. If it's pulling you back. Now, I'm not saying you can't take a friend. Hey, I really want to get into the gym. Maybe you're a nice person, right? You want to bring someone to the gym. I want to get started. So you're like, hey, come train with me. But you have to keep in mind that's probably going to hold you back. And if you're not ready to be educating and teaching and this, that, and the other, maybe you just do it one time, but it might not be something you want to do all the time. So just keep that in mind. If you bring someone on, same thing with the relationship. You want to make sure that the person that you choose is going to facilitate and amplify your life, not drag you down. Same thing with your friends. That's why pillar number 1 is community. So it's the people and the things that you surround yourself with. And personally, I like to train alone. I do like to train alone because I can go at my own pace. It's my own personal time. I wouldn't say it's meditation, but I go out, I go to the, in my gym, I get my work done. I do what I need to do. And then I wrap it up. Let's see. Martial arts mama. My hubby and I hit the gym together, but we work out separately. When he's with me, I'm spoiled. He re-racks my weights. That's another thing. If you have a husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, you can go to the gym together. You can go at the same time. And Mama Swole and I used to do this because sometimes she would do, because when she was kind of just getting back into it or getting into it and I was already doing certain things, she wasn't doing the same workouts as I was. So we would go to the gym and she would go and do certain machines or go upstairs and use certain things. And I would do my sessions and then we would meet together for squats or like, oh, she's going to do this, I'll do this. And then come down in like 10, 15 minutes and then we'll do a couple of these different exercises. So you also don't have to do every single exercise together and you also don't have to train together. You could just go at the same time and do separate things. So. Aiden on TikTok, is cutting out 1,000 calories a good idea for a hard cut? No, that's not just a hard cut. That's like a starvation. So 1,000 calories is a lot. You don't need to be cutting that much, maybe only a couple hundred. So if you make drastic moves, you're risking really bonking out, to be honest. Cutting that much, you're going to zap your strength. You're going to flatline pretty quick and it doesn't give you a lot of room to work. So even for gaining, you don't need a crazy surplus, if at all. Like you just need around maintenance, maybe slightly higher. And then you increase as your growth stimulus, as you start laying more contractile proteins, as you start building muscle. So you don't have to dirty bulk and eat 1,500 calories extra. A lot of people do that because they like to see the number on the scale go up, but they're just gaining water weight and fat. So you're not gaining muscle if you're not getting stronger. So if your reps or your weight is not going up, then you're not gaining muscle. And you need to go back to the drawing board with that. So you don't need a caloric surplus or a crazy caloric surplus. Yeah, and when it comes to spotting, in my opinion, spotting is overrated. Spotting for safety is one thing, but forced reps is just not something that people should really be doing. You're just pushing past to task failure, and then you're just adding additional fatigue. And most people don't know how to spot correctly. They'll grab the bar unevenly. They won't grab it safely. So the last thing you want for a spotter is to feel unsafe from the spotter. And most people don't know how to spot a squat. They don't know how to spot a bench properly. And it's just bad. Most people don't understand how to spot. STL, St. Louis Bengals, I suppose. Best ways to reduce cortisol levels. Getting divorced and I'm a state trooper, so stress is high. Oof. Well, thank you for your service. Reduce cortisol levels. Sleep, proper nutrition, proper exercise, meditation. That's definitely a high stress every time you walk up to a car, every time you pull someone over, your life is in jeopardy. So I know you're on a high state of alert all the time. And of course that becomes your new normal. So you're always stressed. Even when you're walking up to a car, license or registration, you don't know what is going to happen. You're always on alert. Even if you're on the surface, you seem calm, you're always kind of on edge. So meditation, very important. All the things that are the opposite of what you do in your job. So yoga and meditation is fantastic. Sauna is also great, but proper nutrition and sleep, which is also a challenge if you're in those jobs, because sometimes you're working night shifts and stuff and you're not getting sleep, especially if you're new. Not that you are, but especially if you're new on the force. Obviously you get like the shit shifts too. Alex says, my dad is an excellent spotter and it rubbed off, but he was a bodybuilder back in the day and he's the CEO of overtraining and forced reps. Oh, he's that old school. Yeah. Look, in terms of like pushing to absolute failure, that might be fine if you're doing one set for an exercise, but people do that for every single set and they wonder why they're not seeing progress, or they wonder why. This is what Saturday's episode was about. If you're pushing yourself to that level of failure and you're doing chest press and shoulder press and then close grip press and you're just crushing, and you're doing tricep push downs, you're just crushing the same muscles over and over and over again, you're just doing unnecessary damage. And especially as you get more advanced and you start using heavier loads with good form, you don't need the kind of volume. You don't need that kind of volume, especially if you're natural. You can't recover from it. So you need a lot less, I don't want to say a lot less stimulus, but you need a lot less volume than people realize. And if you're training really hard, you'd be shocked at how little the volume that you need. And training to absolute failure, meaning like task failure, you don't need to. You don't need to. You can cut back a lot on your fatigue by training really hard and leaving 1 rep in the tank. The problem is, especially if you're new, most people don't know what 1 rep in reserve is. So they think there's 1 rep in reserve and there's really 2 or 3 or 4. So that's a huge issue too. People think they're leaving 1 rep in the tank and they still have a bunch left. And then they're not getting as much stimulus as they think. And short rest is nonsense too. Short rest is not allowing for growth. So if you want to do cardio, go do cardio. But if you're doing 30 seconds or a minute between intense sets, you're just not recovering. So you're zapping your ability to actually create a stimulus. You have to get close to failure. So for beginners or for people that are new or kind of like been in the gym for a couple years or at least a few months, it's really important to understand where your failure is and what that means for you. Like, okay, you have to know what that feels like. Because if you don't know what that feels like, you're not gonna be able to gauge 1 rep in the tank. So the way I gauge it is not necessarily that I have one more rep, because I don't know. I'm not gonna do it. So I don't know if I'll get the rep. But usually it's gonna be, okay, I get that last rep, and then if I have in my head, like, okay, I could get 1 more, that's a sign to cut it. Because I know, like, if I would attempt another rep, for me, that counts as 1 rep in reserve. Even if I might fail that rep, because I won't know unless I do it. But if I feel like, okay, I could probably try 1 more. In the past, I just know, because in the past, I'll have that impulse like, okay, I can get 1 more. Let me try 1 more. I feel good. I usually cut it now. In the past, I would do it, and maybe I would get it, or I would fight through it, and it'd be like, and you feel that you really overcame something. And I got it. I fought for like 5-6 seconds on that last squat, but it's so much fatigue and so much damage. It's just not worth it. That 1 last rep is not outsized benefits for the other 4 that I just did before that. So leaving 1 rep in the tank, if that's accurately 1 rep in reserve, you're leaving off a lot of fatigue and I'll recover a lot better. And I still get sore. I'm still making gains. I still get stronger. You're just leaving off the most fatiguing reps. So if you have about 5 reps that are going to be stimulating on every set, that last one is just 5-10x the fatigue as the first 4. So you can get all the benefits and leave off 1 rep. Just do another set. Do 2 sets with 1 rep in reserve, and you're leaving off a lot of unnecessary fatigue and still getting the benefit. I used to do workouts where I would be sore for a week. I don't want to do that. I'm training muscle groups at least twice a week. So I can't get to that. I don't want to get to that point where I need a wheelchair or I need crutches. Why should I be walking around like I'm crippled? I can't train. And if you're really that sore, and you guys know this, if you're that sore, it affects other body parts. So if my legs are so sore I can barely move, then how am I going to do other exercises that I need my legs for support? Everything's connected. I don't want to be so stiff and so sensitive and it takes me a week to recover, because you're just not benefiting as much as if you create that growth stimulus, recover quickly, rather than having a long drawn out repair process. And over time, as you get older, joints, knees, like it just feels so much better on my joints if I program more appropriately. Now, when you're younger, a lot of times you can get away with maybe more, but you don't want to get away with it. You want to optimize. And as you get older, recovery is even more and more important. And as you get stronger with proper form. So as you get more advanced, like where I'm at, my form will be the same form on the last rep as the first. So I'm able to maintain that quality through the end. It's just much more fatiguing going to that absolute limit. If I'm only doing 1 set, then okay, I can go to like 0 reps or maybe train to failure. So you could use it sparingly. I'm not saying never train to failure. It's just going to be much more fatiguing, and you should use it as a tool and not something as a standard. A lot of people do 3 exercises for chest, 3 sets of 10, and every set is like partial reps, drop sets. It's like, no wonder you can't move your fucking arms. You're just damaged, and it's unnecessary. You go way beyond what's required to stimulate growth, and you go into like this injury state almost. And that's the point. That's the point. You don't know. You don't know what 1 rep in reserve is until you've trained to failure, until you know that feeling. And in my opinion, until you train to failure a lot, you don't know what 1 rep in reserve is. So I'm not saying go and train to failure right now, but understand that that last rep is not necessary, and it's going to cause you a lot more damage and take you a lot longer to recover from. Shell says, I can gain just looking at a cake. No, you can't. You gain because you look at the cake and then you put it in your fat mouth. That's why. That's why. I gain when I look at food. Yeah, because you eat it right after you look at it. No one has ever looked at food and gained weight. I love that statement. I love that. Anytime someone says that, I'm like, ha! Yeah, it's because you look at it while you're putting it in your mouth. I gain when I look at cake. It's never, ever happened. It's never happened. It's like building muscle just from looking at a chest press machine. I just look at the dumbbells and I gain. Nope. Nope. I gain because I look at the dumbbells and I lift them and I put them back down. Hogwild says, that's why I love Maximum Swole. You learn what failure and almost failure feels like. Yeah, so once you understand what task failure is, you can no longer perform a rep. Then you know when you get to that point, because you want the reps to involuntarily slow. So I was doing pendulum squats yesterday, and I did like my last rep, like, I got it up and I pushed through. I know if I tried another one, I probably would have had one. I don't know if I would have 2 more. If I had a gun to my head, maybe I would have 2, but I know I probably could have gotten 1 more. I could have attempted it. If I was going towards failure, I would have attempted another one. I felt good enough to attempt another one. And then I racked the weight. So I usually put like 0 to 1. So 0 to 1, I'll put in my book, like maybe I would have gotten it, but I don't know. I didn't try it. But in other words, that last final attempt, I just leave it off and I feel great. I feel great. And I promise you, leaving 1 rep in the tank will be the difference of, it will make your joints will feel so much better. Because a lot of people, when do people have problems? When do people have problems? It's not my quad, like I tore my quad, I pulled a quad, or I pulled my bicep. What do you usually have issues? You have tendonitis, right? It's in your elbow. Right? Oh, the outside of my elbow, I have tennis elbow, or golfer's elbow on the inside, or my shoulder kind of bothers me, right? It's the tendon, it's the attachment. And you want to avoid those things because that really keeps you. Like the actual muscle belly, if you have a strain or something, that heals really quickly. But the connective tissue takes a lot longer, doesn't have the same blood supply. So if you like kind of back down on the fatigue, your joints will feel so much better. Your tendons, ligaments, everything will feel so much better. All right, last chance for questions. Drop them in the comments. Hashtag AskPapaSwolio. Good topics. Good stuff. What program are you doing right now? If you're a member, what program are you doing? Maxim Swole's boss. Thank you, Jeremy. Michelle says, I'm starting week 17 of Swole season. Can't wait to move on to Maximum Swole next. Yeah, you're going to love it. Swole season is great, but it's more volume. Now, you can choose 2 sets for a body part or 5 or 6. But in other words, Swole season is designed for kind of like entry level gaining, because again, Swole season is more about what I just talked about. You don't have necessarily the experience, or you don't understand what failure is. So doing a couple more sets can be beneficial because you'll get more stimulating reps, but you're also going to incur more fatigue. So you have to keep that in mind. For me, I can't do Swole season because there's too much volume. But earlier in my training, that was a better option because most people don't know how to gauge stimulating reps. Hogwild says, I'm doing Maximum Swole upper lower. That's what I'm doing too. I'm doing upper lower. And I've done full body. I prefer upper lower in general. I will do full body if my schedule requires it, but upper lower is, for me, a preferable split. Full body every other day is exhausting. It's a lot of setup. It takes longer, and you have to be much more specific with what exercise selection you're choosing if you're doing full body. And I like focusing on certain areas. I just do. I just like focusing. If I'm doing upper body, cool, I could just focus on that. I don't have to focus on that. And plus, if I'm doing full body, if I'm ever doing like a squat or some kind of compound movement like hack squats or pendulum squats, I have to really be careful how I program it, because if I do that first on my full body, I'm just exhausted. It takes so much out of me. So I usually do that later on. In other words, I like splitting upper lower and then either doing, 2 on, 1 or 2 off, or right now I'm doing upper lower every other day. So it's kind of like the full body every other day and then doing upper lower, but I still do certain exercises every other day. So I'll train calves and forearms every other day, and I did forearms yesterday before legs. And, so, I mean, you could still do certain body parts every other day. Some body parts can get trained more frequently, and some need to be trained less. Like they'll incur more damage and take longer to recover. So Hog Wild says, I used to always tweak my programs, but I can't imagine fucking with Maximum Swole upper lower. It's great. I mean, it's a great all around program. There's really no reason to do anything but upper lower. And then what you can adjust is whether you do every other day upper lower, like upper Monday, lower Wednesday, upper Friday, lower Sunday, or you do Monday, Tuesday, and then take a day off. And then, of course, you just have to adjust your volume, because if you're training upper again on Friday or Thursday, that's a big difference. So you want to make sure you adjust your volume. So if I know, hey, I have this going on the weekend, so I'm going to do upper, lower, rest, upper, lower, then I'm going to not do the same kind of volume as if I was doing every other day, for example. And of course, your rep range is very important. So doing high reps is just unnecessary. You could build muscle with just a few reps. So I like to stay in like the 3 to 8 rep range in general. Some exercise I'll do higher, like quote, higher reps, but it really depends on what I did previously and how I feel and this, that, and the other. So the other day or whatever, when I did upper body, I was leaving, I'm focusing on leaving 1 rep in the tank. So I did preacher curls. I decided to load it up more, and I did 2 sets of 3 reps, leaving 1 in the tank. So I got like 6 stimulating reps. I knew I can get 4 with that. I just left off the last one. I didn't want to fight through for 10 seconds on the last rep. So I did 2 sets of 3 reps, 1 in the tank, and I feel great. Your soreness is like almost non-existent, and strength output is through the roof. So whether it's 4 reps or 5 reps, training heavier, you're doing a lot less volume. You're getting right to the stimulation from the first initial rep. Just make sure you're doing like 1 or 2 or 3, depending on the exercise preparation sets, and then boom, send it. Because remember, the goal for building muscle is to stimulate and then recover. So how can you maximize stimulation and minimize fatigue? Remember that you're going to get fatigue no matter what you do. So if you're incurring a lot of fatigue, but let's say let's say we had stimulation units versus fatigue units. Would you rather get 5 stimulation units and 30 fatigue units, or 5 stimulation units and then 5 fatigue units? I'm just saying, there's no need to do 20 reps for a set and do 3 sets when you can do 5 reps, leave 1 or 4 reps, 1 in the tank, and do 3 sets of that. You're just cutting down in like half in terms of the volume. You're cutting off a lot of the useless just movements, because if you're getting about 5 or so stimulation reps, you're doing 15, 20 reps to even get to the stimulation. You're just incurring a lot of damage. It's just not necessary. It's not necessary. I don't remember the last time I did 20 reps for anything. Like a set to failure of 20 reps. It might have been something like reverse curls or something. I did 11 reps or something, or 13. But usually if I get to like 11 or 13, depending on what I'm doing, I'm increasing the weight the next time. It depends on what exercise you're doing and how you can load it. Because some exercise or some machines, if you go to that next level, it's going to be a lot more weight, for example. Or you can micro load if you have a gym pin, you could put on like a 1 pound plate or something like that. So it really depends on what kind of increment you can go up. That's why I tell people to get 1 pound plates or half pound plates or quarter pound plates. Bring it to the gym. That way you can micro load, because sometimes throwing on a 5 on each side or an additional 10 or going to the next stack is just too much of a jump. You want to do less of a jump. Crane Ryan, Papa Solio, how long are you typically taking on upper day due to the amount of different body parts? But it's not that much. It's not that much. I'm doing usually like 2 sets for a body part. 2 sets for a body part. So if I'm doing chest, I'm doing like 2 sets. Back, I'm picking one movement for back and I'm doing 2 sets. So it might be 10 total sets. If I'm doing chest, back, shoulders, bi-tri, I might be doing 10 total sets. So it depends. It depends. An hour, hour and a half. But I take longer rest periods. And in my gym, you know, I just take my time. So I'm not in a rush. So it's not, the time isn't really that important for me, because I don't have, when I do my workouts, I don't have to be, okay, I have to be out of here in an hour. I could move it faster, but I don't have to. So if you have limited time in the gym, it's important to understand your programming. So you do less volume, or you choose exercise that are easier to load, or use pin machines where you can just hop on, put a pin in and get started. You don't have to load plates and source them, because sometimes you have a gym and sometimes in gyms it's hard to find plates. And you have, like, they're all over the place. People don't re-rack their shit, or it's busy. So it depends. And I'll usually compress or simplify my workouts depending on what I want to do. Okay, I want to do this today, so let me choose these exercises because they're close together. Or I can put the plates from here and move over here. And sometimes I'll do an exercise, or I'll start my workout. I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. Let me just do this instead, because I don't feel like bringing the plates over here and X, Y, and Z. Alex says, overdoing weight on reverse curl is how I fucked my forearms. Oh, no. Well, I'll tell you what, doing reverse curl, the way I do it, I use wrist cuffs and I hold a tennis ball. So I don't actually hold the bar. So I have a cable machine with a bicep curl on the bottom, and I'll put the wrist cuff and I'll do reverse curls. And just so I'm not like using my hand like this, I just hold a tennis ball and I do my reverse curls, like standing cable like that. So I'm not actually gripping it with my hand. A lot of people just have overuse for grip. They don't work their extensors enough. So it's just muscle imbalance. If you fucked up your forearms, you're just not balancing out the stress and balancing out the fatigue and the stimulus on other aspects of your forearms. Because if you're just gripping, but you're never doing any kind of extensor work, yeah, you're going to have imbalances. And people work, and look, a lot of times what people do, it's over-focused on supination. So you're doing all these kinds of like completely supinated, so your biceps supinate the forearms. There's the supinator muscle that also, turns over the wrist. So you see my bicep moving, right? So that's supination. And when you're doing, let's say, pec deck, and you're always doing curls, and you're always doing like forced, supination, you can really get a lot of pain on the inside of your arm, because the biceps tendon, goes in like this. So when the bicep shortens, it pulls like this. So if you're never doing pronation, then you're not balancing it out. So I also do pronation work with a cable. I have like a wrist strap and, thumb strap. You can use that. You can get those. It's kind of like what they use with like arm wrestling. So if you're not balancing out your pronators, then you're only getting supination, and there's no balance in the elbow, and you can get pain. You can get like a lot of, issues here. Combination with it gripping, and then you're just getting a lot of pain on the inside of your elbow. John says 4 sets of 20 225-pound barbell squats back in the day. I thought high volume develops big legs. LOL, holy hell, my leg days are much more efficient now. Dude, I was right there with you, man. Used to do those high rep 20, 30 rep sets, watching old Tom Platz videos, and you realize, oh shit, I'm not a freak of nature. I'm not taking tons of anabolic steroids. I can't train like those lunatics. People do like the Arnold push-pull legs twice a day. It's like, dude, you can't do that. Even Arnold would have gotten better results if he wasn't doing that. This is why you can't just go and do what other people do. And there's a lot of different ways that get results too. But if you understand what actually builds muscle, then it's a stimulus. You want to stimulate the muscle, and then you want to stimulate the muscle. You're better off going by the Mike Mentzer method and Dorian Yates. You want to stimulate the muscle, and then you want to recover. So it's not about the volume; it's about the stimulus. And how often can you provide that stimulus? Can you provide that stimulus every 48 to 96 hours? That's like a Monday, Wednesday, or a Monday, Thursday, or a Monday, Friday. So you don't have to train body parts twice a week. Certain muscles can handle that, like forearms or calves. But then if you're training them every other day, you're not doing a ton of volume. So when I do forearms, I'll do one set of 3 different exercises. I'll do one set, brachioradialis. I'll do one set of flexors, one set of extensors. Done. But I'll do that every other day. Same thing with calves. I'll do 2 sets to start my workout, and then in 48 hours they're recovered and I could train them again. But you can't do that with every body part. If you want to train every other day, some body parts can handle it, but probably one set. So full body every other day it's a longer workout if you're trying to hit every body part. And again, even if you do full body every other day, it doesn't mean every single body part has to get hit every other day. So experimenting with that is important, I think. But I always kind of come back to an upper lower. Even when I go full body for a little bit, I like recovering every other day. I like after I train really hard, the next day I get to repair. I get to do yoga or something else, or walk, or do some cardio, sauna, and focus on recovery. And then that way every workout is fresh. Every workout is coming off a recovery day. And for me, that's working really well right now. No, I don't know who that is. Ash Trevino. I don't know who that is. I only know because you guys are spamming the chat with someone's name. I don't know who that is. Something tells me I'm glad I don't know who that is. We're chilling today. We're chilling. We got a bunch of releases. We got some stuff to get into. Do we have bars deep videos? Yeah, we do. So we'll get into that in a second. Last chance for questions. Katie, you helped me lose 115 pounds. Ooh.
Wow.
I just go to the gym now. I'm doing a 70.3 in September. A 70.3? Is that a triathlon or something? Jeez, good for you. Good for you. Creatine is great. Creatine's fantastic. If you want to access all of our programs, if you go to the website, if you're on TikTok, you go to papaswolio.com. In the menu, you'll see the app, you'll see the 7 pillars, you'll see all the free downloads, you'll see information on how to join the Swole fam. So all the programs we're talking about, Maximum Swole, Swole Season, 90-Day Dash, Scorched Earth, Swole Mastery. Maybe I'm missing one. We have a bunch of programs. We have hundreds of yoga classes. It's all available in the Swolenormous app. So you can find that all on the merch site. Refocused Fitness want to say, I love your stuff. Thank you. Appreciate you. Prince Damon, been watching Papa Swolio since episode 140 on YouTube. Wow, 140?
Wow.
Today we're on episode 3293. Damn. What's 140? 140 would probably have been like July of 2016 or something like that. July or August. Hogwild says shoulder awareness alone made the membership totally worth it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you have shoulder issues, go to the program section and check out shoulder awareness. Look, there's so much stuff inside the app, and we've been doing this for what? We're coming up on 9 years. So there's so much stuff I sometimes forget. If you have issues with your shoulder, check out the 5-level shoulder awareness program. It's really great for prehab. It's great for rehab. And you can take and mix and match. If there's certain exercise that you really like and that felt great, focus on that. You don't have to do every single thing, but it starts it off really easy, like level 1, and then goes from there. How long have you been creating content? 2016. Well, 2015, but Swolenormous started in 2016, essentially. 2016. So a lot of people find my stuff and it's like, who's this guy? You just talking to yourself. You just talking to yourself on a podcast. Like, bro, I've been doing podcasts since before people knew what a fucking podcast was. A lot of people. Some people had podcasts then. But this has been going on. We've been doing this for 9 years. 9 years. Which of these is a... This is stupid. Now TikTok is asking me which of these you remember, like sometimes if there's inactivity, it's like you have to slide this puzzle piece. It's asking me which of these objects is orange and round. And it shows me basketball, so I tap it and it's like unable to verify. Please try again. Which of these objects is a musical instrument? The guitar. Unable to verify. Oh, it worked that time. I have to help your freaking AI garbage. God, TikTok sucks. This app is... TikTok blows. All right, we're about to wrap up. We're going to continue on Rumble and YouTube, so come on over. Links for the podcast are also on the website also. Releasing new merch today. Yes, we are. Buy one, get one 50% off over at papasoy.com. So right now, we're going to get into some balls deep content, and then we're going to do those new releases. So... all right, come on over. TikTok, so Rumble or YouTube at The Daily Swole. And if you want to go to the merch site, link in bio, papasoya.com, you'll see the podcast links, and then you can click and come directly there. So come on over and catch the rest of the show. Thanks for being here, TikTok. Appreciate you. Thanks for the questions. And now I can say retarded. Ah, that was retarded. That was... really retarded. What a hot pile of garbage that app is. Absolute cesspool of garbage. Yikes. Yikes. Holy crap. Gets worse every time. Yeah, fuck it, CAPTCHA. That's stupid. That's stupid. Which one of these is a musical instrument? The guitar. Unable to verify. Which one of these is big and round and orange? The basketball. Unable to verify. How about a shirt? Make saying retarded great again. How about that? Make saying retarded great again for a shirt. How about that? I like that for another release. All right, let's get into those releases. You ready, fam? Let's get into it. All right, let's do those new, let's do some new recipes now available in the Swolenormous app. Join us, swolenormousx.com.
What's in the box?
We have tropical smoothie. First one, tropical smoothie. Ooh, ah. It is summer. It is summer, man. Come on over here, man, and get your tropical smoothie, eh? Tropical smoothie. Tropical smoothie. Jeremy says my friend got flagged there for nudity. She was fully dressed mild. The stuff that I see, because look, I got some Swole team in on some of the, accounts. So a lot of times we're saving videos to use for balls deep, this and the other. I see videos of like dudes hanging dong, like in underwear, and it's like completely outlines their cock, and that doesn't get flagged. But then if I call someone stupid for taking Ozempic, it's like, that's bullying. If I say retarded, whoa, that's hate speech. It's like, why is full-blown nudity? I see women just with their pussies out. Like they do it very subtly and they show it like with shadow, and it's like their fucking roast beef is hanging down. How does that get through? And then if I say retarded, it's like, you're naughty. You said, I'm like, well, that's fucking retarded. That's retarded. I have to get it out. It's like, I have to say it. Now I sign off TikTok. I'm like, retarded. And I feel better. Okay. Tropical smoothie. Next one is bacon wrapped cod. Aww. The only way you can make cod taste good is if you wrap it in bacon. You could put anything here and just say bacon wrapped blank, and it's going to be delicious. So cod, which is famous for having no flavor, put some bacon on it, and it's going to taste good. But I feel like that's insulting to the bacon. And the last one, oh, you're going to like this one, picanha steak. Ayo. All right, here we go. Okay, so picanha steak, picanha, bacon wrapped cod, picanha steak, and tropical smoothie. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's get into some featured classes, and then we'll get into, we got new yoga and we got new merch. And of course, we'll take some other questions. If you have last chance questions or things that you wanted to ask, remember yesterday I sent out the text, or is that Saturday? And then I asked you guys if you have any, focus questions. And I really want to bias towards the Swole fam's questions because I know we come on here. Sometimes you can't watch it live. Sometimes you can't be there. And I want to make sure you guys have a chance to personally ask me questions. So I appreciate everyone for following up with all that. So let's get into some of those rotating classes. We have featured workout. We got a featured, it was raining a lot down here. It's raining a lot in Florida. Today, and I think tomorrow, today is a rainy day. It was raining so hard. My gym was like flooded. It was like filling up with water and all that stuff. So a lot of rain yesterday or last night, and today looks like it's going to rain tomorrow. We haven't had rain in a while, so there's probably a lot of flooding in Miami and stuff today for sure. Tonight it's going to rain. Not that you guys care. And then it's going to be 90 to 95 degrees in pure sun for like the next week. So on Wednesday, is Tuesday going to be sunny? Yeah, from Tuesday tomorrow after the rain, tomorrow around like noon, this coming week, I'm going to be roasting tits. I am going to be absolutely slaughtering my sack and destroying my nips for like a week. I love seeing Wednesday through Wednesday just on the weather app, just sun. And it says 87 to 95. I am going to be cooking my nips. Absolute destruction. I can't wait. All right. So let's get into class. Featured classes. What's in the box? So this one is level 3 vinyasa. A lot of you are like, fuck that. So anyway, Rachel's awesome. And maybe you can handle a level 3 class. How many of you have tried or done or do level 3 classes? So if you want to challenge yourself and hey, maybe you're kind of coming back after a little hiatus, you want to do something that's more strength related. You don't want to necessarily train. You want to push yourself a little bit. Try it. Remember, if you've never tried a level 2 class, try one. It might not be as bad as you think. And you want to challenge yourself. So if you want to challenge yourself, try this class. I mean, that's going to really be a challenge, but level 3 vinyasa, give it a shot. A lot of you are like, oh my God. All right. Swollen 7 sandbag round 3. Let's go. And maximum swole quads number 2. So based. There you go. All right. Very nice. Joe says, I've tried level 3. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, yeah, sandbags are great. Let's say you're traveling. A sandbag is fantastic because you could put dirt in it. It doesn't have to just be sand. But if you're traveling and you're going somewhere where there is sand, you could bring like an empty sandbag. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can, when you buy sandbags on Amazon, they don't come filled. You'll buy it and it's empty. And then you buy sand from Home Depot, or you put in dirt, or you go to the beach and you put in sand. So if you're going somewhere, if you're traveling, you can throw an empty folded up sandbag in your luggage. And then when you go to the beach, you can fill it up and then you can do some training and do some lifting. You could put dirt in it. You can put whatever you want in it. If it's a strong one, it'll hold. So just saying, it's a good thing to do if you're traveling. It's a good option. It's a good strategy. And there are ones where, I guess there are ones like water. Like you can fill it with water and like you just fill it up. There's different things. Sorry. Do you guys? Yeah. I muted. I didn't say anything important. Do you guys want balls deep or do you want just yoga and merch, or do you guys want balls deep? Should I do a balls deep video? What do you guys? You guys down? Up to you. Up to you if you guys want balls deep videos today. Balls deep, please. Please, balls deep. We'll do this one then. We'll start out with discrimination. Discrimination. Jesus.
TikTok last week, and this is what I learned. Fatphobia is the only form of discrimination that people don't have any protections against. My entire video was about ending generational trauma when it comes to passing down anti-fat bias. As you can imagine, I received
Generational trauma.
a plethora
Fucking
of very
pussies.
fatphobic comments from people who believe strongly that being fat is morally wrong. When I tried to report these comments for harassment, bullying, discrimination,
For being
what
retarded?
I received was a description of what is reportable. We are protected for the following things. The size of our bodies is not protected. It is still okay. It is still acceptable to be hateful toward people for the size of their bodies. Even though we have more understanding now than ever. We have more studies that tell us bodies come in all shapes and sizes.
Especially
But
if you
being
cake.
fatphobic, refusing to do the work and unpack and unlearn that is totally protected. We need to do better. I've put together a webinar this Wednesday, March 15th at 1 p.m.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. A webinar.
What is the best move to silence a woman?
I've put together a webinar where we can all come and cry together about how everyone hurts our fucking feelings. Well, how about if you go to the fucking gym, stop being a whiny bitch, and you won't have any more problems. Problem solved. Yay. All right. Okay. Well, we watch that and it's like, okay, let's come back to logic and common sense, please. Let's do yoga. We'll do another one. We'll get into merch. Have some fun today.
What's in the box?
Hashtag SwoleFam for a chance to win today's Swole card. Again, if you are, if you're going to post stuff online and pretend like everyone else is being mean, if you're just going to post, everyone's mean to me because I'm fat and they have to change, not me. People are going to respond and troll the shit out of you because you're being a huge pussy. So the simple result is just don't post anything online. If you post stupid stuff, you're going to get responses of people telling you that what you post is stupid. If I say something stupid or I say something offensive, I don't say anything offensive. People choose to take offense. If you get offended, you have the right to be offended, but I have the right to call you a baby. I have the right to, respond and be like, oh, stop whining. I have the right to say what I want. You have the right to be offended, but you don't have to be offended. That's your choice to be offended. You could laugh and move on or take care of yourself. Stop projecting your own insecurities onto everyone else. No one else has to change. You're just delusional. All right. New yoga.
What's in the box?
Now, this one's for everyone. It's not level 3, so you guys are like, whew, I can actually enjoy this one. Level 3 is so hard. Yin for deep relaxation express class with Alex. Tell me something I don't like.
Hello, baby.
Tell me something I don't like. You can't, because I love it. Yin for deep relaxation. That's awesome. That's a great class. You guys are going to love this one. Look at that. Super relaxing. This will be a great one to try at night. Or let's say the dude that was a state trooper that's really stressed out. This is a great class, a great thing to do. Yin for deep relaxation. And if you didn't know, yin is for everyone. There's no level 3 yin. You guys have probably figured that out. Every class is regressible. Alex tells you like, if you can't do this, adjust here. If one block is not enough, you use 2 blocks. You can use a pillow. You can use a bolster. you can adjust so many different things. So yin is for all levels. That's why in yin, if you go to the yin section, there's no level 1 yin, advanced yin. There's no such thing. Okay? It's awesome. Awesome. Great class. And I think you all enjoy it tremendously. And when you do a class or a workout, make sure you comment below the video. How many of you guys have been doing that in the app? If you enjoy a class, make sure you comment. Comment under the video, because then other people can read it in the app and be like, oh, sweet, let me try this. So if you like it, say why you liked it or this, that, and the other. It really helps. And we like seeing the feedback too, because if a lot of people respond and they really like a certain class or a workout or a master class, then we get an idea of what you guys are enjoying, and then we can make more content that you like. So yin for deep relaxation express class, drop a comment in the app when you try the class and let me know. Let me know. Great class. You know it's going to be a great class. Alex's class, all the classes are great, but that one's something that I'm looking forward to myself. Fat friendships. So jump scare, just letting you know, this is holy eyebrows. She looks like someone put her together with the Easter Island head. They took one of those like Moai heads and just stuck it on like a carcass. So let's just...
What's in the box?
Let's watch this.
So why do you feel that fat friendships are so important?
I mean, I think once I had other fat people in my life that I could talk.
Okay. Just pause. Look, I didn't play this video to make fun of people. They make fun of themselves. But just look at the top screen. Look at the top screen. Come on, man. Really?
What the fuck is that?
I mean, no neck, no shoulders. I mean, that's just like when it goes from look at those traps. Is this a linebacker? Does she shrug like 6 plates? It's a head, and then it just goes out to the side. There's no body. It's like a beanbag with a head. How can you live like that and be promoting obesity? Oh, I'm not promoting obesity. Yeah, you are. The title of the video is Fat Friendships. You're talking about being fat based on someone's characteristics. It's like, I only have friends with black people. I only am friends with Asians. Like, these are the bigots. Fat friendships. Who the fuck bases their friendships based on someone's terrible lifestyle choices? Only pathetic people. You're finding other victims to spend time with. Shocker that you get together and just complain about stupid shit.
So why do you feel that fat friendships are so important?
Why do you feel that fat friendships are so important? God damn it, you're a fucking retard.
You went full retard, man.
I mean, I think once I had other fat people in my life that I could talk about this with, because I grew up with fat siblings. But when we talked about our body, and especially in my household, losing weight was a prized thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I found these other people that I was able to actually explore this aspect of my identity and like how has being fat shaped my experiences. With other fat people, I'm not having to show my worth. I'm not having to show I have a seat at the table. Like, it just, that assumption is there.
Yeah.
That I'm
a seat at the table is not what you need. A seat at the table. Yeah. I feel bad for that seat.
worthy person to get to know, and really have just found it to be a place where I can be probably my most authentic self and explore the world with support with other people who might understand that as well.
Oh, is that it? Jesus Christ. Is that it?
What you just said,
thank God,
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right, we got one more video. We don't have to watch it, but just because we're here, we're going to do it, and then we'll get into the merch. This one's called Staying Fat. We're just on a triple trifecta with fat stupidity today. What else is new? This one might be a little bit long. Staying fat is not going to solve fat phobia.
Staying fat is not going to solve fat phobia.
And the lack of nuance in conversations about fat phobia and fat liberation and body positivity online are why I've distanced myself quite a bit from them. We've reached a point in fat liberation, I say that in quotes because it's been so bastardized from
Retarded.
its original meaning, and body positivity, that influencers, the wellness industrial complex, as well in the food and drug industry.
The wellness industrial complex. These people are just taking like talking points. The wellness industrial complex. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure it's an industrial complex, but it just sounds like it's just stupid, fucking pathetic people that are trying to get attention rather than actually improve themselves.
Complex have all started co-opting the language from these movements. If that doesn't tell you that we've lost the plot, I don't know what will.
Oh, we know you've lost the plot. It's been gone for quite some time. We've been railing on this shit since like 2017.
But I've heard sentiments echoed online from people who are not fat, by the way, that staying fat is somehow inherently a political choice that challenges fat phobia.
A political choice? Well, you're making a political choice. It's Marxist. It's victim dynamics. It's oppressor-oppressed dynamics. Like, that's all it is. So it is political. You're making it political. Like, all these idiots, you might not know because, I mean, people that are in body positivity and fat liberation, like, they're retarded. So they don't realize that it's a political cudgel. Like, that's what it is. It's a political framing of being pathetic because Karl Marx was a fat, disgusting, pathetic dude. So go do your research and look into it. He was a fat, grotesque, like lazy piece of shit. So I'm not surprised that fat, lazy pieces of shit follow his principles.
And it just really gives like choice feminist vibes to me. I do not believe that being fat is inherently a political act.
Really? Eating too much cake is not inherently a political act? Well, thank you for that. Appreciate the overwhelming knowledge you're providing.
It's coming from a former fat person and someone who is very entrenched in these communities. I think a lot
I was an ex-retard. Now I'm just a little bit less retarded.
of people online, as well as representatives from these industrial complexes, are virtue signaling and doing so for their own gain.
No way!
Usually monetarily. Everything
No
has
way.
been so watered down at this point that shit doesn't even make sense anymore. The fact that weight loss products are using marketing that parrots body positivity and fat liberation sentiments just really illustrates where we are. It's like,
oh my God, marketing? You're telling me that marketers ruin things? You're telling me that people are marketing products in order to make money? You don't say. You don't have to buy them. Again, what does the marketing do for this? It preys on stupid, retarded people. That's what these types of marketing ploys that sucker someone into body positivity and fat phobia and all. Like, yeah. And most of these people are women because you're gullible as fuck.
very remnant of rainbow capitalism. And it obscures the
all right. So it's very remnant. That's not really of rainbow capitalism. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. It's oppression dynamics. It's Marxism. It's all the same. This is what I've been raging on for like a decade. It's all the same. It's the same thing. It's just manifesting in different ways. The LGBTQ cult, the whole fucking thing, all the cudgel of victim and oppressive dynamics. It's the same thing as fat phobia, body positivity, fat liberation, all these things. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. That's why it's so fragmented, is because the left and these socialist Marxist approaches always eat their own. It's always discriminatory. It's bigoted, and it always isolates the people that are not as marginalized, right? It's always sub-segmenting. It's all intersectional.
capitalism. And it obscures the fact that these industrial complexes, like diet culture industries, wellness industrial complexes,
Diet culture industries. Wow.
as well in the food and drug industrial complex, all have vested interest in keeping us unhealthy. And
Yes, correct.
no, being fat is not inherently unhealthy.
How can you follow something that's really correct with something that's so stupid? No, being fat is not inherently unhealthy. Well, yeah, it is. It is.
Matt Damon.
So you had me for a second and then flip the script.
Correlation does not equal causation.
Correlation does not equal causation. Well, terrible habits will lead to you being unhealthy, and being fat is a manifestation of just metabolic issues in the body based on your shitty habits. So, yeah. All right. Well, none of us are surprised if you're a retarded person saying retarded things. I'm not surprised that it's stupid. No one's surprised. Okay. So let's get into some new merch. That was shocking. I mean, we're not surprised by anything. I think what happened is everyone just kind of got once. I think once we had I think when we hit the wipe yoga episode, I think nothing surprises anyone in the Swole fam anymore. If you've been listening to this podcast since wipe yoga, I think wipe yoga was peak, right? I feel like that was like the peak. That was the peak turning point. Everything else was kind of like it flatlined a little bit, and then slowly it's kind of just been like, okay. But wipe yoga was like peak insanity. You know? I think the wipe yoga is like after that, anything like, you know, nothing else is like surprising to any of us. It's like, all right, once you hear wipe yoga, once you saw wipe yoga, all of this is just nothing. It just pales in comparison to wipe yoga. Alex is asking wipe yoga. Oh yeah. What episode was that? Does someone know what episode that was? Hogwild, what the fuck was wipe yoga? Ooh. Can I do a search? Let me see. I'm assuming wipe yoga was in the title. Let me see if I could do a search. Can I search my own episodes? I don't think I can search here. Maybe you can search on like, let's see. Let me just do a duck. Let's see. Daily Swole wipe yoga. Let me see if it pulls up on search. Oh my God, it does. Wipe yoga strikes back. Was that it? No. 1595. It shows up in search. That's awesome. 1595. It was that long ago? Holy shit. The description says no words. There are no words for the horrors of what was uncovered in this episode. Oh, 1595. Wow. That was like 4 years. Oh my God. That was much longer ago than I thought it was. Thank you, Positive Charisma, 1595. And then 2122 was Wipe Yoga Strikes Back. Audible.com. Wipe Yoga Strikes Back. Why is it on IMDb? Does IMDb sources podcasts? Why is my podcast showing up? Why is my podcast showing up on IMDb? I'm gonna click on it. I want to see what it looks like. IMDb. Isn't that supposed to be like the movie site? I know they did podcasts. Gross. Oh, this is so wrong. It says release date September 18th, 2020. It says parentheses Norway. Well, I definitely wasn't in Norway when I did this episode. Norway. Is that because it's like on Spotify? Isn't Spotify like isn't it a Swedish company? Whatever. Gross. All right, so if you want to check out that horror show, 1595. That was a long time ago, and no one misses it. All right, new merch. Let's do this one, fam. Daily Swole International. Here we go. New merch. Drum roll. When the fat phobia and the Marxists, when they show up,
What's in the box?
who are you going to call? Swole Busters. Dun, 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 dun. Na, 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 na. Papa Swole's making gains. Na, 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 na. Swole Busters. All right, we got new merch. We got Swolebusters merch. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, well, the original was actually Swolebusters. Go and check it out, or Gymbusters, whatever you want to call it. New merch, papaswolio.com. Go and get yourself a Ghostbusters shirt. Making some sick fucking gains. We got the beard logo. You can find it. It's there. It's there. Go and check it out, man. papaswolio.com. Buy one, get one fitty. BOGO fitty. BOGO fitty. We still got the BOGO fitty. BOGO fitty. New drop. New drop. Let's do a throwback too. Long episode today, but let's do a throwback too. So go check it out, papaswolio.com. Man, we have so many designs. What do we got today? Let me bring it up. Let's see what we got. Swolenormous apparel. Let's see. Oops. Noise. Gymbusters. It's called Gymbusters. Yeah, I just call it Swolebusters. So new releases. Look at these new drops. Look at these new drops. Gymbusters, Pumpage. God, I love these shirts, man. I love these shirts. I'm rocking the Swole Gumby, notretarded.com. It's raining, so I'm not going to be recording new content, but I need to do some videos with these shirts. I cannot wait, fam. I cannot wait to post a video wearing the notretarded.com shirt. I cannot wait for people to freak out. So here's the last few weeks. Gymbusters, Pumpachoo, They Do Lift in Herds, notretarded.com, Swole Gumby, My Swole Pony, Swole White and the Seven Steaks, underrated, Curl Bears, Chicken is a Vegetable, Jurassic Pump, Power Pump Girls, great releases. What a streak. What a streak. What an absolute tear we are on for merch. What are we going to release next week? My God. Maybe we'll do the Make Saying Retarded again. Make Saying Retarded Great Again shirt. Maybe we'll just do a simple one. Anyway, lots of great merch. Go check it out. papaswolio.com. Let's do a throwback while we're here. Let's do a throwback. Let's have some fun. What we got? Yeah. Well, it was going to be fun until I saw this face, but, well, at least we're making fun of it.
Asking if I could wake up tomorrow and be 150 pounds lighter healthily, would I?
No one cares.
And my answer to that is no.
You're disgusting. You're a disgusting human.
Of course not. You lose all your followers. The grift is real. My God, look at your hand. That looks like a drumstick.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. And that's because fat phobia as a system of oppression controls all people of all sizes. No matter how thin you get, you're never really going to satisfy the beast that is fat phobia.
You keep telling yourself that.
Who are you talking to? What we're saying is if you have 200 pounds of extra human on you, you're going to have major health complications. You already do. You look like you're about to explode. Oh my God. Is that chicken from Popeyes? All right, we got to do another one. What a roll. I only have one more in the folder. I only have one more in the folder, so let's just do it. It's another face we don't like, but let's play.
And racism are two completely separate things.
Yep.
But they're not.
Yes, they are.
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? Infinity. No, I'm not. You are. No way.
All bigotry in our culture is rooted in white supremacy.
No. That makes no sense.
White supremacy sets an ideal, and any deviation from that ideal is discriminated against.
This woman just wants to be oppressed so bad. Why is it always these retarded white women? Can someone please hate me? I know I'm white. I'm sorry, I'm white.
Because as white women, we want to set ourselves apart from black women.
Well, that's racist.
What? Are you saying that you're a racist?
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying that...
There's more jobs in LA.
Great fucking edits, man. Holy shit. my God. Wait, hold on. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to post these on Instagram so bad, but I don't want to like get our accounts banned again. We're posting a couple. We posted one on the Daily Swole podcast on Instagram, but we're not doing like the collab because I'm just kind of like floating it out there because we used to post those. We used to post those on Instagram, but then after a while, all of a sudden we started getting flagged for like, shocker, like bullying and harassment. But my God, love that chicken from Popeyes. That was so good. That was so good. Do I still have it? Here. Oh, that was so funny. Love that chicken from Popeyes. I don't remember that one. Do you guys remember that edit? I don't remember that one. We do so many of them. I don't remember that one. Because these are throwback. That's a great one. That's so good. We do so many of them. I don't remember that one. Because these are throwback. Hand. That looks like a drumstick.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. And that's because fat phobia as a system of oppression.
Stick. Love your hand. That looks like a drumstick.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Your hand. That looks like a drumstick.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. And that's because fat phobia.
Oh my God. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's so great. Fam, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Let's give away today's Swole card. It's a Swole fam card. It's a Swole fam kind of day. Let's get into it. Let's give this shit away, shall we? Love that chicken from Popeyes. God, what a great edit. We got a winner today. It is Monsieur Sigman J. Sigman 87. Felicidades. Oh, delicious. Awesome. Congratulations, Joe. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3293 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Wow, that was a great show today. Great show today. Great questions by fam. If you didn't respond to that question, the Q&A prompt, you could still respond and we'll get to more tomorrow. I really hope more come in. Really appreciate you guys for being here and responding to that text. Go to the fucking gym, go make some gains, enjoy those new releases. Just to recap for a moment, of course, you guys know everything, all the new yoga and everything is over at swolenormousx.com. Join the fam today. And we got new merch. The Gym Busters, now available over on papaswolio.com. And of course, we have new yoga inside the Swolenormous app, Yin for Deep Relaxation Express class. And if you don't yet have the app, how dare you? Greta, tell them.
How dare you?
Indeed. You can go and download the Swolenormous app today in the App Store and Google Play and access all your favorite content. Of course, same login and password and everything as the website. So you have access to the web and the app. So it makes it even easier to see the new drops and to communicate with your Swole fam and all that good stuff. So go and check it out. I was at my mom's the other day and I was showing her how to, even my mom can do it. So my mom like hooks up her phone to her TV and she can just boom, cast it right to her TV and she could do the yoga classes and watch everything right there on her TV. So super awesome. You could stream to your TV, daily journal, custom playlist, community, schedule your workouts, offline downloads, and of course, so much more. So go and check it out. papaswolio.com, not papaswolio.com. Well, it's over there at papaswolio.com too in the menu, but swolenormousx.com to join the fam. Fam, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow for 3294. Peace, McGee's. Deuce, Magoose, ya boy. Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't laugh and they so mad, it's like
Then y'all found
My linen is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets.